Hey, this is Dan with Simpallo, and today I want to give you a quick overview of what Simpallo does and how it can help you. First thing we're going to do is add a new project. Project name, we can set the bid date and time, add any notes that you might have. Now once we're in the project, we can upload some plans to it. You can click to open a file explorer, or you can just drag and drop it in there. It'll take a minute for it to upload and process those plans, so when it's done, I'll be back. Okay, here we are. All the drawings are uploaded in here now. When you open the plans, you'll come to this screen where each sheet is listed out. You could add some folders in here to organize stuff. You can have multiple plan sets using this one. For this, we're just putting it all in one. Here we are on the drawing we're going to use to measure our fence line. If you notice, this set scale tool is highlighted and I can't click on any other tools right now. It makes me set the scale. Alright, there we go. Now the scale is set, so we have some other tools that are opened up here. What we're going to do is create a takeoff using this little enclosure around this pond here. Now that I have a takeoff created, I'm going to go in here and edit it to set up the specs of whatever job I'm doing. Since I have a preset configuration already for standard 7-foot overall, I'm just going to use it. On the right side, you see it populates all of the different options that are built in here and already selected. If you needed to change one of these, you can just click clone. Once you clone it, it gives you the ability to go in and select anything. So if you had a configuration that was really close to the way a job was spec'd, you can do this and it'll save you a lot of time, so you don't have to select every option all the way down. Now we have our specs in, let's draw the fence. First thing you'll notice is that's really large. You can come up here and adjust the size of it. Now this is a gate. When I right click and tell it that's a gate post, notice it added a different color. Here's the gate that it added. So that's a sub takeoff. See, it's a second tier takeoff. So again, I have to go in here and set the specs for it. I only have a single gate built in here right now, but we'll use it just so you can see what it does. If you notice, I've been clicking each individual option. You can set these up to where if you click gate, it would add the hinges and latch and gate post and footings, and you can build that however you want so that all these are tied together. Okay, now we have the options in that we're going to use. We'll go through and set our specs. If you notice on this gate post diameter, there's custom. So if I had something, a different size, I can put that in. Same thing with the depth, there is a custom option there. You can add the custom to whatever you want. You can add it to every single option if you choose, or just some select ones. You see on here I have it on some, like on hinge there's custom, so I can type. Now you'll notice some of these down here are grayed out. Those are based on the parent product. So they're based on your fence specs. It's done this way so you don't have to go through and reselect everything that you already chose for your fence. Now we have all of this done. All of our posts have an indicator by them showing that they're a corner post. If there was an existing post that you were tying into, you could change that here. It does it automatically, but you always want to watch and make sure that your posts are being selected the way that you want them to be selected. Okay, now we have our measurements done. We go back into this main project screen and we go to our takeoff here. And there's our material list. There's a little summary there on the left side. You can print this material list. You can export it as a CSV. You can see the configuration here. If you want to check your specs and change anything, you can do that right here on the screen. If you make any changes, I always suggest hitting the sync inventory button just to make sure. It does it automatically, but again, it doesn't hurt to double check and make sure. If you notice, these 2-inch line posts are showing you 86 pieces at 8 foot long. That's based on package links. So when you're setting up your products, you can set up package links and it figures out if it's going to use 18, 21, 24 foot pieces to minimize your drops. Okay, let's go back to our project and let's add a grid plan. This time I'm going to show you the flexibility that Simpallo has and the way you can make it calculate anything you want. These are 30 feet long by default. It makes everything a bit tight for me. So I just set the scale and changed it to where they're 10 foot long. Notice I can add more to my existing takeoff if I want to. So if you have the same fence on multiple sheets on your drawings, you can keep adding it. We're in a different plan set now. It works across plan sets and sheets and everything as long as you're within the same project. So now we're going to create a new takeoff. I want to show you how easy it is to customize and how many options you can get out of Simpallo. So let's add a new product configuration. We'll add some options to it. So I just built in 3 of these. Alright, so we have blue ducks, young flamingos, and our lizards all have 3 legs. Once again, the line's a bit big for what we're looking at, so I'm going to scale that down some. Notice this is an end post. When I click again, it changes to a corner. Alright, so let's say that's our layout. Let's go back to the project screen and let's see what we have. There you go. It tells us how many ducks, flamingos, and tells us how many lizard legs, because there's 3 per lizard. The point of this is to show you that Simpallo can output anything you want. The calculations and the capabilities are just limited by how creative we can get with what we're putting in here and telling it to do. I'll show you a little bit about how the products are set up. When you subscribe to Simpallo, it will come with core products in it. So it'll include commercial chain link, wood, residential. It's not going to include this anything you want, but it will include the panel counter. So this is simply built to tell you how many panels, corner post, end post, and line post, brackets, and concrete. It's not product specific. If we go into commercial chain link, you see all of these categories. Basically, if you want something to be a line item on a material list output, it has to be a category. This add core product button will allow you to get the default products that come in it. So if you mess something up or want to modify them to be your own, then you can keep adding them over and over. This can be set up as complicated or as simple as you want. You can see I have a pretty long name on this chain link fabric, but I went through did the top and the bottom, the coatings. Here's a comparison showing you the residential setup. And see, I only have 4 options in there, so it's a lot simpler. This is where you build your product configurations. That way you can go through one time and set all of your options that you want to use. If you need to edit something, you can go back here and edit it. Change the name here. This is really easy to modify if you need to change something. You can just simply click and drag your terminals wherever you want them. I think I showed you, right click and change which type. You can right click on a line, you can move it to another takeoff, you can move the measurement. Once you've put a takeoff on a drawing, it adds your takeoffs here on this ribbon, so you can easily go back and see where 7 foot overall galvanized is. You can bookmark. So once you bookmark them, it puts them here in the bookmarks, and it puts them here so you can easily access them. You also can just measure without creating takeoffs. Let's say we want to know how far this fence is shown from this existing fence line. We can just do that. On any of the lines, you can click them and put in a measured length. So if you're doing this job and you actually go out and field measure everything, and this is 182 feet, you can put that in there and it will update your material list based on the actual measurements that you pulled in the field. So in a nutshell, that's where we are with Simpallo. Upload plans, you can upload specs. It does have a PDF viewer for you to read through specs. I didn't show you that. As I said, this thing's fully customizable. You can change all of your options on any of this. I mean, it's that easy to change an option. This is where you allow custom items. I like to call this custom if I'm going to allow one there. That way you know which one you can type on. Has validators and restrictions. We'll get into that more later. So thanks for checking out Simpallo. If there's anything we can do for you, you can find us on our website, simpallo.com, Simpallo.com. There's forms on there you can fill out and we'll contact you. There's a phone number on there if you want to call. We're on Facebook. Just any way you want to get in touch with us, we'd be happy to talk to you about anything and help you out any way we can. Thanks.